Ladies and gentlemen, the atmosphere in the desert once again has delivered a moment that perfectly captures why professional tennis continues to fascinate fans across the globe. Under the lights and pressure of elite competition, rising Canadian star Victoria Mboko has produced another performance that confirms she is no longer simply a promising prospect. She is becoming one of the defining forces shaping the future of the women's game. Her latest statement came with a commanding victory over Jelena Ostapenko at the Qatar Open in Doha, a performance that secured her place in yet another WTA 1000 final and moved her one step closer to solidifying herself among the sport's elite. At just 19 years old, Mboko is putting together a season that is starting to feel less like a breakthrough and more like a full arrival. The scoreline against Ostapenko, 6-3, 6-2, may look straightforward on paper, but the performance itself was layered with confidence, tactical intelligence, and a level of shot execution that only top-tier players consistently produce. From the baseline, she dictated rallies with authority. From the first major momentum shift in the match, she never allowed her opponent to regain control. This latest victory adds another chapter to what has already been an extraordinary rise. Only a short time ago, she was still climbing through the lower tiers of the rankings, building experience and learning how to navigate the physical and emotional demands of the tour. At the beginning of 2025, she was ranked outside the top 300 globally. Fast forward to today, and she is now projected to break into the world's top 10 regardless of what happens in the final. That kind of leap is rare in professional tennis, where progress is usually gradual and hard-earned over several seasons. Her breakout moment originally came when she stunned the tennis world by capturing her first WTA 1000 title in Montreal last August. That victory transformed her from a promising name into a legitimate contender at the highest level. Since then, she has steadily built confidence, improved her physical endurance, and sharpened her tactical awareness. Now, instead of surprising opponents, she is beginning to impose herself as someone they must actively prepare for. The road to the final in Doha has been anything but easy. Along the way, she defeated multiple elite players, including Mira Andreeva and Elena Rybakina, two of the most dangerous competitors on the tour. Each victory carried different challenges. Against Andreeva, Mboko had to withstand relentless baseline pressure and adapt to fast-paced exchanges. Against Rybakina, she faced raw power and championship-level serving. Winning those matches required not just physical ability, but mental toughness and match intelligence. Now, standing between her and another prestigious title is the winner of the semifinal clash between Karolina Muchova and Maria Sakkari. Both present very different tactical puzzles. Muchova brings variety, finesse, and unpredictable shot selection, while Sakkari relies on athleticism, defensive strength, and relentless intensity. Whoever emerges will test Mboko in a completely different way than what she has faced so far this week. After her semifinal win, Mboko spoke with the calm confidence that is becoming her trademark. She acknowledged the high level of tennis Ostapenko brought early in the match and emphasized the importance of raising her own intensity quickly. She also highlighted recovery as a critical part of tournament success, noting that managing physical energy across consecutive high-intensity matches is just as important as performance during match play. The match itself began with Ostapenko applying early pressure, securing an initial break, and attempting to establish dominance. But Mboko responded quickly, breaking back to level the score and resetting the rhythm of the match. From that point forward, she began asserting control through aggressive yet controlled baseline hitting. She captured 4 of the next 5 games to secure the opening set, using depth and precision to push Ostapenko behind the baseline. In the second set, Mboko elevated her level even further. Her ground strokes, particularly her backhand, repeatedly forced errors or weak replies. She dictated rally tempo and limited Ostapenko's opportunities to step inside the court. Although she briefly lost serve while attempting to close the match at 5-0, she immediately regained composure and finished the contest on her next opportunity. That ability to reset mentally after a setback is a hallmark of elite competitors. This season did not start perfectly for Mboko, which makes her current run even more impressive. Early in the year, she reached the Adelaide final, but struggled physically and lost decisively to Andreeva while dealing with an injury concern. Shortly afterward, her campaign at the Australian Open ended in the fourth round with a tough loss to Aryna Sabalenka, one of the most powerful players in the game. Those setbacks could have slowed her momentum, but instead they appear to have accelerated her development. There is also a symbolic layer to this current run. By defeating a former champion of the French Open in Ostapenko and overcoming players with recent Grand Slam success, Mboko is proving she can compete across different playing styles and surfaces. That versatility is essential for long-term success on the WTA Tour, where conditions and opponents change constantly. Beyond the technical and tactical aspects, there is a noticeable shift in how Mboko carries herself on court. She appears calmer between points. She manages momentum swings more effectively. She shows patience in constructing rallies rather than rushing for winners. These qualities often mark the transition from rising star to established contender. Her ranking surge reflects not just isolated results, but sustained high-level performance. Breaking into the top 10 is not simply about prestige. It changes tournament seeding, reduces the likelihood of facing top players early, and increases visibility globally. It can also shift the psychological dynamic when she faces opponents who may now view her as the player to beat. Another key element of Mboko's success is her adaptability. She can win fast matches when her offense is firing, but she has also shown the ability to grind through long, physically demanding contests. In modern tennis, where physical conditioning and recovery science are as important as technique, that balance is crucial. What makes her story even more compelling is how quickly it has unfolded. Many players take years to move from outside the top 100 into the elite tier. Mboko has accelerated that timeline dramatically, which is why analysts and fans are increasingly discussing her as a potential multi-title contender at the highest level of the sport. Looking ahead to the final, the biggest question will be how she manages expectation. Reaching finals is one challenge. Winning them consistently is another. But based on her trajectory, her composure, and her rapidly evolving tactical maturity, there's every reason to believe she can handle the moment. Right now, she stands on the edge of another defining achievement. Another WTA 1000 title would not just confirm her ranking status. It would reinforce her reputation as one of the most dangerous young competitors in women's tennis today. And perhaps the most exciting part for fans is that this may only be the beginning. At 19, she is still developing physically and technically. If her current improvement curve continues, she could become one of the dominant players of her generation. In many ways, this Doha run represents more than just a tournament performance. It represents a shift in the balance of power on the tour. It represents the arrival of a player who is no longer chasing the future, but actively shaping it. And if her current momentum continues, the rest of the season could become a defining chapter not just in her career, but in the story of the next era of women's tennis.